Good people, what is going on? Another episode of the All Go Podcast. I'm your host, Desmond, talking about the Detroit Lions against the Green Bay Packers. The Lions get a win, 15-9. So 15 or 17, I'm sorry, 17-9 over the Green Bay Packers. And no, Aaron Rodgers was not injured. He played in the game. And the Detroit Lions defense held them to 9 points, aided by 3 total interceptions. 2 of them near the goal line, I think within the 5-yard line. I think the Packers got cute, a little thing that I actually think Ben Johnson does a little bit too much for the Detroit Lions, where they'll get rolling and be running the ball well and then do some kind of little trick play or just something that you don't need when your O-line is imposing their will and moving people off the ball. But the Packers decided to try to throw a screen tackle eligible pass to Bakhtiari, and it was just an awful throw by Aaron Rodgers and gets picked off by Aiden Hutchinson. More on him a little bit later. But just odd, a team that had just no life as far as their record goes now seems to have some. Lions moved to 2-6, which I get it. It's absolutely brutal. But I was taking a look at the Lions, or the NFC standings as they are right now. And the Lions are very low. I think 15 is where they're at. Low, I get it. But there are, I think, 4 or 5 teams with 3 wins. So they have the ability to make some pretty big jumps. I mean, they need to beat Chicago. I believe Chicago's the next game. They need to beat Chicago, absolutely, because that would move them to 2-1 in the division. And the part that annoys me is, had you closed out that Minnesota Vikings game, you would right now be 2-0 in the division and leading the division. But I digress. Here we are. They have to beat Chicago, and I believe they got the Bills. In the next 4 games, they need to go 2-2 to even, can't believe I'm saying this, have a shot at anything. So they need to be, what would that make them, 4-8? But they got the Bills in there, and another team, I don't have the schedule in front of me right now, but they've got the Jaguars. So you need to beat Chicago. You need to beat the Jags. You're probably going to lose to the Bills, and probably going to lose to whoever else you play as well. But I think, if anything, this is a testament to the team and just how hard they play. I don't think I'm the only one in saying that a lot of the fans had given up on any hope in this season. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't want to fall for the Lions okie doke that we all fall for every year if you're a Lions fan, where you're done and you're just like, I'm through with this, and then they start winning some games and then you're back in and then they lose them again. So I don't know where I stand. I think the Chicago game is going to loom large of what I want the rest of this season to look like. Because listen, we need a new quarterback. We need defensive help everywhere. So, the last thing I want is the Lions to win a bunch of games and mess up that draft position. So we'll see what happens. But, man, I seem to remember not long ago, a certain show was bagging on Aiden Hutchinson and just how we should rethink, Lions should have rethought drafting him and just all this other stuff when we were about 4 or 5 games into the season, and now he's balling. I think he's number 1 in pressures, number 1 in sacks for rookies, number 1 in pressures, number 1 in sacks, and a couple other things. So he's playing well. I believe he's got 4.5 sacks on the year, which I believe we are, 8 games in. So we're not even halfway through. Now with 17 games, I guess he would be halfway through the season at halftime next week. But I mean, he's on pace to have a really good year. So enough of the Aiden bashing. I think we're all past that now, but To try to judge a guy 4 or 5 games into his career is pretty crazy. So anyway, let me know your thoughts. Appreciate it. Peace.